Java is a worldwide popular programming language. If you see across the world, so there are 8,000 billion devices so that are running on the Java. The reason why the Java is very popular in the market, so because there are so many reasons so behind of. The first reason for this is it's an open source software. Means anybody they can work, and so without paying of any costs, and so even if you have any thoughts on your mind, okay, you can also implement your own thoughts in the programming language. So that kind of all the facilities are going to be providing by your open source software programming languages. So one of the very popular languages is Java. And so the Java is going to be controlling of the hardware device and software device, and so any kind of the communication so that we are going to be nowadays, so we are achieving so with the help of Java. Basically any programming language, okay, that is used to developing the software applications. So if you want to develop any software applications, so that all, so it is used to developing the software based applications. And so before the C and before the Java language, the very popular programming language is C and the C++. And if you see, the C is following the principles of structure-oriented programming language. And the C++, if you see, the structure-oriented programming languages as well as object-oriented programming languages. So the reason why I am discussing here the C and C++, because the Java is also following the behind of the Java, and you can able to see and the C and C++ programming structure. But as a programmer, so we no need to be bothered about like how the C programming so that is working so behind of the Java. For all the programming languages and the built-in and the scale of the developing the project, the programming languages intention is the same. But so how it is more user-friendly to developing the applications? So when the developer wants to communicate with of your programming language, how you are more user-friendly? So how good so the developer can communicate with your programming language? So that way the Java is providing of all the advantages. So it is providing a documentation called API documentation. So which stands for Application Programmer Interface. So it will help you, the programmer, to develop the so any kind of the software application so that they can okay develop so by using API. But if you see the C and C++, okay, having its own advantages as well as its own disadvantages. But when you comes into the concept of object-oriented principles concepts, so it's a consortium and it has a certain principles so that are defined in a OOPS concept. Basically, OOPS is an object-oriented principle, so which has some set of rules. Like let's say in the future, the Kumar wants to introduce his own programming language. So he cannot just define a programming language and he cannot release it to the market. And someone has to be approved of your programming language, and then only so the programming language will be released into the market. So which means that that programming language has to be follow some certain principles and the protocols has to be followed by the programming language. And that is the reason if you see the C is a structure-oriented programming language. The C++ is a structure-oriented programming language as well as object-oriented, but unfortunately the C++ was not able to prove all the principles of object-oriented programming language, and that is the reason. So C++ we are going to be calling as it's a partial object-oriented programming language, but the Java is a pure object-oriented programming language. Java has the alternative programming language is the .NET. So whatever the features the Microsoft, so those they are delivering into the market, so all their projects are commercial projects. So if you want to work with any examples with the Microsoft components, so definitely you should be a licensed person, and then only you can able to work. And other thing is, so they won't expose okay their source code into the market, and you will be restricted to only for that particular component, and you will be habituated to so whatever so Microsoft that they released into the market, and you are be restricted to that. But when it comes into the Java, and still, so Java is going to be giving to everyone. So if you have interest, and you can explore from yourself, and by adding up your own components, and that's where so your framework was introduced into the market. If you see Spring and Hibernate, such, so these are all the programming the frameworks how that are introduced means. So the most of the developers so that have their own interest to introducing of their own frameworks. But if you see the Microsoft.NET, and you cannot see, so if the Microsoft want to release the version, only the Microsoft has the responsibility to releasing of their own the versions or modules, but no other the persons are not going to be releasing of anything so which is related to Microsoft. Programming language and invented by, so name of the organization called Sun Microsystems.
Sun Microsystems, yeah.
So Sun Microsystems, so they are the founders, and so who released the Java into the market. But so now the Sun Microsystem has the partner of the Oracle Corporation. Now so Java is dealing with Sun Microsystem as well as Oracle. So they both are developing the Java. So now you can see the very big picture and very big scope. So when you are working with the Java, so Java is evergreen in the market, because always it's an open source, right? So you'll have a facility to explore of your own components. Is that correct? Java is invented by, so name of the person called James Gosling, and so we'll call him, he's the father of the Java. So because he is the first person who invented the Java into the market, that is the reason, so we will call it as he's the father of the Java. So now I'm going to be explaining the concept, like, so if you learn the Java and what is the advantages, and so what you are going to be doing in the future. So if you are selected for some company, some organization, so what is of your roles and responsibilities, and so other things, so other words I can say that, so what kind of the features the Java can offer. Not only the Java, like if you see from the organization level also, you can able to, so you can see, so what are all the applications so that the organizations are developing, and that if you can see, so basically there are 4 types of applications so that are available in the market. So that is, the first one is the standalone applications, or also call it as desktop applications. So what do you mean by standalone applications or desktop applications? So any applications so that is specific to the mission or a system, and those applications so we are going to be calling as it's a standalone applications. The example for this is Notepad and MS Office, so etc. all the software or will be comes under the part of a standalone applications and desktop applications. So which means that which is specific to of the mission. Example, so you might have in your mission the MS Office. I cannot access of your MS Office software until unless I have to be installed in my mission, and then only I can able to access the MS Office into my mission. The second category of applications, so that is web applications, are also going to be called it as internet applications. If you see what is the drawback of the desktop applications, so because you cannot access the desktop applications from outside of other missions or outside the world, and you cannot access. It is restricted to a specific mission, and by avoiding of the drawbacks of the desktop applications, and the web applications or internet applications are got introduced into the market. The best example for the web applications and internet applications are the Google, Yahoo, Facebook, and etc. That will be a part of web application. If you see, like if you are a Facebook account holder, right? So if you are in UK and you can access, and if you are go to US and you can able to access. So wherever you are in the world and you can able to access the application. That kind of the flexibility that is going to be providing by the web applications. And the Java is going to be supporting the more features for the web applications. And also if you see any applications so that you are hosting into the internet environment, the first things that we need to require security. So Java will provide the 100% of security to your applications. the reason how the Java is going to be supporting our more focus and the main thing, so that will be going to be concentrating on web applications. The other category of applications are the enterprise applications. The best example for the enterprise applications are the banking applications. So Java is a portable programming language, and so that's going to be, you can see in the standalone as well as web applications. What is mean by of enterprise applications? Let's consider, so the best example is the banking applications. If you see, so let's consider there are two banks. So one is Bank of America and the second one is Citibank. The Bank of America, so the application, so that is developed so in .NET. So the Citibank application, so that is developed in .NET. So let's assume that Kumar is a Bank of America customer, and he went into the bank, and so if he want to transfer any funds, and he has to be visit the bank, okay, and if it is a larger amount of the transaction, and definitely should be there in the bank, and so he should able to transfer his fund, right? And so even so, but he want the, so he has the account to other, the guy who is he's trying to sending, so his account is in the Citibank, but the Citibank application is developed in .NET. But the banking applications has a feature called you can send your fund to across the banks. So you can send, so wherever, so whichever the bank that you want, you can send across the world for all the banks. You have a capability to send. If you can observe, so the both the projects, so which are defined in a different platforms and different languages, so that are used to developing of both applications. How that both are going to be communicating. So how both applications are trying to communicating. So that, okay, that kind of all the integrity that will be happen. So with the help of enterprise applications, it should has a special specification, okay, we need to use in order to developing of your enterprise applications. So that enterprise applications, if you see, it's a distributed components, and it's a common component. So that is going to be sharing to the, so different of your platforms. So different languages can able to communicate of your enterprise component. If you see, and the same way, like if you can consider, and also all the banking applications are more secure applications, right? If you see, like, so even a bank employee also, he cannot access from his software, he cannot access from outside of the office. So whenever, if you want to approve any transaction, and he has to visit the bank, and then only, so he has to be approve the transaction, and then only the fund will be transferred to the others, right? Because it's a more secure programming language, and also it is intranet based applications. So which means that, so that will be accessible to within their network environment, but it is not exposing to the of other networks. So how that kind of the implementation, so that will be happen, so that all will be a part of your enterprise component. So if you can define, so enterprise components, so with the help of that enterprise components, and so we can able to communicate to the different platform, the applications flow can able to communicate with this, so your, so distributed component. Okay, so that is like, so it is in the form of the enterprise application. So what it is different from the standalone applications means, like if you see the example of the banking applications, so banking applications are specific to that environment. Means you have to go to that particular environment, and then only it will be accessible. If you go to the, so outside of the bank, and so he cannot, so even he is a bank manager, and he cannot access from his home. So because it is like all the security of authentications and everything will be restricted to of their environment. So by considering of your enterprise applications, so it will be a part of, so it will have a combination of standalone applications, and also it's looking like as a web applications. Standalone application means a software which is specific to their bank environment, but still it has the internet of environment to communicate into the of other banks. Your enterprise applications, or it's like combination of your standalone applications as well as the web applications. It has the both the features, and that's where the enterprise applications are got introduced into the market.
Yeah, friends here suggested, so that will be a help to me when I learn this banking applications.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
good.
yeah. Okay.
So, and the last category of applications, so that is distributed applications. The best example for the distributed applications are remote applications. Like almost, so banking applications or remote applications or the almost it will be the same, but there are slight differences. Like so that I'll explain you. The best example for the remote application is a GoToMeeting. So you are in remote place and I was in remote place, but still you can able to, even though you are physically not existed in my place or physically I am not existed in your place, still we both can easily communicate to each other. And other thing is, so you can able to view, so whatever the operation so that I am doing on my system, and you can able to see everything, okay, and if I can give the controls of you, and still you will have a complete of my system access.
Okay.
That kind of all the provisions, so all the distributed applications are like, it's kind of a similar applications, okay, and so which is related to, even though you are located in remote place and still you can able to operate of all the operations.
Okay.
Okay, and that kind of the best example for this is the GoToMeeting, TeamViewer, WebEx. So there are so many softwares so that are available. So these are all the applications under the category of distributed application. And in order to answer for this all the applications, and so we got the Java into the market with the different versions. So Java, so the initially, so they released into the Java AC. The currently, and they are calling it's a Java AC, and it's a older name for this is J2SE. So which stands for Java 2 Standard Edition. And some of them in the market, so they will call it as Core Java. But officially, Sun Microsystem don't know what is Core Java. But only in the market and for their understanding purpose, so they had a name called Core Java. But so I request you to, like, if you are going to be applying for any job, so don't place anywhere the Core Java. You should be use the official terminology that is given by the Sun Microsystem. So wherever if you specify, so better to specify, so that is a Java SE or the J2SE. If you specially the mention in your resume, so the Java SE, so they can treat that it's a, so he is the updated guy and he know everything. So at least they will analyze that no, he is updated to the up to the market. Why? So and other versions so that they released into the market is Java EE, and so which is J2EE, so which stands for Java 2 Enterprise Edition. So this is in the market, so they will call it as it's advanced Java. So and these two are the technologies so that the Sun Microsystem they released into the market. And later on, so they also wants to participate in a mobile application. So for that, so they released a separate API called Java ME, so which stands for Java 2 ME, which is purely for focusing to developing of your mobile application. And for that, so we are going to be use the API called Java ME or J2ME. So these are all the technologies so that are introduced by the Sun Microsystem. And now I can say that so these are all the solutions, and now whatever so you are going to be seeing about the different types of application, I can say that so these are the problems or the challenges. Now in our hand, so we have the problems as well as solutions. And now how can we map both of them? So for that, so we have applications versus Java technologies. If I want to develop the standalone applications, so I can use the Java SE in order to developing the standalone applications. So if I learn the Java SE, I am ready to developing of standalone applications. If I want to develop the web applications, and I should have a knowledge on Java SE, plus also for additionally this, and you should also have the knowledge on Java EE. Okay. So if you have both the combination, so if you have both the knowledge, and then only you can able to develop the enterprise applications. I'm sorry, it's a web applications. And now, if you want to develop the enterprise applications, so enterprise applications are a combination of Java SE plus Java EE plus EJB. So there is a special API specification that is called as EJB, which stands for Enterprise Bean Components. So that in order to developing of enterprise applications, and you need to have a integration of EJB, and then only you can build off your enterprise applications. And the fourth thing, so that you want to develop, so distributed applications. So if you want to develop the distributed applications, and so you should also have the knowledge on Java SE, Java EE plus EJB, or you can also use a API call. So with remote method invocation, because if you want to get the remote controls and remote that you want to see everything that are defined in a API called RMI. So that you can use if you want to develop the remote applications. The fourth one, so here I can also say that the mobile applications, so Java SE